Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Amateur Repair Time. I've got a friend, Chris, that comes in our shop all the time. He bought a really cool pinball machine. Him and his wife bought a really cool pinball machine from us a couple years ago. And he stopped by the other day and brought this radio. I think this, I wasn't there, so I didn't get the story, but I think this belonged to his family. And he said it doesn't work right, and he was wondering if we could try to fix it. So I sure can. I can try to fix it. Let's see what we can do here. I don't know, have any clue what's wrong with it. Looks like it tunes, or I mean the indicator moves, which doesn't mean much, but so that's not it. It's a GE, says 11 AFC FM AM radio. It's got kind of the leather carrying case, or whatever you want to call it. You know, very classy. Nice telescoping antenna. And it says, external power, earphone, complies with FCC radiation regulations. You know, I got another light here. Let me turn that on. There we go. Thought something looked a little weird. Has a number dialed into it there, or cut into it. Very cool. All right, let me carefully see if I can take that back panel off or see how it opens. All right, so the door opens. General Electric 2702. I've seen in the past where that whenever there's a number like that, a lot of times they've hidden the year in it. So maybe it's a 1970 model, maybe. AM IF 455, FM IF 10.7. Battery supply, 6 volt, 4 standard C-size flashlight batteries. Batteries must be installed as directed. Always check with new batteries before returning set for service. Service may be obtained at nearest authorized GE radio service facility. Well, I don't know why they brought it to me. They could have just took it to their nearest authorized GE radio service facility. See list packed with radio. Yellow page. They could have looked in the yellow pages. Or send prepaid and insured, to GE Co. Radio Receiver Department, 11 Andover Avenue, New Hartford, New York. You know, we're making jokes. I'll bet you they still get radios sent there. I'll bet there's someone that works there, if they even have that address anymore. I'll bet there's someone that works there that from time to time gets a radio sent in because somebody's been doing it for years and they can't believe that things have changed. If 90-day warranty has expired, payment of $7.50 fee must accompany radio. Only sets purchased and retained within the U.S. may be returned. There you go. All you foreigners sticking it to you. Okay, so I don't know what the deal's going to be, but the first thing I notice is it's got batteries in it, and they're starting to look kind of bad. So they're probably leaking a little bit. Let's see what we got. Well, I don't know. Maybe that's just how they are. Maybe those aren't old. Yeah, they're not old. November 2029. So they probably just put these in here to test it. So that's cool. We'll take these out and look at the springs. November 2029. They're not leaking. It's an unfortunate color scheme. It looked like they were bubbling up and messed up. Now again, I think they just tested it and then brought it down to me. I wasn't there, so they dropped it off. So don't get on them about leaving the batteries in it. You know, that's a whole thing. I don't know if, I think it depends on when you grew up. Whenever I was a kid, I left batteries in everything because it was never explained to me like that. It was never explained to me that, like, this is power and you keep it over here in a drawer where you keep power. And then if something needs power, you go get the power and put it in it. That's not how anything was explained to me. The way it was explained to me was, this has a part missing. It needs batteries in it. Okay, let's buy batteries. All right, we put batteries in it. Now it's complete. Does that make any sense? So whenever people get all angry at people for leaving batteries in it, it just depends on how you were taught, I guess. I was never taught to remove batteries from anything. I was always taught as if it was a part of the thing that needed to be put in it. You know, so as a kid, once I got them in there, I mean, I knew they would die, but I never thought, oh, let me take a part of it out whenever I was done playing with it or messing with it. Okay, so let's look at that corrosion or lack thereof. I don't know, folks. Looks pretty good to me. I mean, I see something blue there. I don't know what that is. We'll look closer at that, but it's not that bad. I mean, you see stuff that's leaked all over the place, and, you know, I mean, obviously this is probably leaked at some point, but it looks pretty good to me. All right, so the radio actually looks pretty simple, if that's all there is to it. Am I missing anything here? That's it, isn't it? It's just that one board. Now, I don't know that I know how to fix it, but we'll see if we get lucky. Remember, this is amateur repair time. This is not professional repair time. Yeah, okay, so yeah, I think that's it, because they've got to have room for the speaker. So there's a big old speaker in front of it. That's the back of the speaker there. And that's pretty much it. There's probably a little bit of stuff for the string up top. That's the AM antenna. And I gotta tell you, there's not even a lot of electrolytic caps that I see, so there's not much to, you know, replace in the way of preventative maintenance. I see some, I think these little round top things are transistors, actually. Let me see if I'm right about that. Yeah, that's a transistor. So there's not a lot of electrolytic caps, which is what would normally go out in these. So we might have a transistor bad or something if something major is wrong with it. I think that's a big filter cap there, but, you know, a filter cap is just going to give you some hum, probably. It's not going to make something not work. But I could be wrong. All right, so first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to get my multimeter and I'm going to check those batteries and see if they're any good. And then we're going to install them back in there, and then we'll try turning it on and see what happens. All right, well, those batteries were crazy dead. Very, very dead. So that's the problem, the first problem. But here's another thing. Look, it's the volume. Listen. So it was turned on that whole time. So it could be that there's some kind of problem where you can't hear it, and they just left it turned on and it killed the battery. So it could be that it had brand new batteries when they brought it to the shop, and it's been sitting there turned on for 2 weeks or something. I don't know for sure. So we'll slide these nice energizers in there. Whenever I do battery videos, it's always awesome because people will say, oh, those energizers are the worst. And other people say, oh, those Duracells, they leak, oh, they're horrible. And then the new thing is everybody says, put lithiums in it. So I'm going to put these in it. And I'm going to test to make sure that they're connecting properly and all of that. All right, so the batteries as installed have 6.38 volts running from one end through all four of them to the other end. So that should be sufficient. Let's turn it on and see if we get anything. Yeah, I'll bet that's what happened because we're up pretty loud And I don't hear anything. Yeah, we might have just an open speaker or something. Completely dead. Dead, dead, and more dead. Yeah, so I'll bet they couldn't tell, and they left the batteries in and they left the volume on, so it was on the whole time, but you just couldn't hear anything. So yeah, first thing I would check is the speaker. So let's see if we can figure out how to do that. All right, so if you take the batteries out, there's a few screws that appear to be holding the whole thing in, and then you can just kind of slide it out. Got a nice old school, what is that, considered a 3x5? Maybe even a little smaller. It says 12 ohm. And so the way I'm going to check it is I'm just going to check and see what kind of resistance we've got across the two leads. It should be somewhere near 12 ohms, even though that's impedance, I'm told. And I'm told it's completely different. Oh, it's not the same thing. It's completely different. But yet every time I measure like an 8 ohm speaker, the resistance is somewhere near 8 ohms. I don't know, folks. It seems like a good way to test it to me. So that's what we're going to do. So I'll test that. And I'm also going to look, if it is messed up, I'm going to just look carefully at the leads coming off of these onto the cone. I've seen those broken a lot of times. About half the time that I find a speaker in something, an arcade game usually, that doesn't work, one of those leads is broken that touches the cone. Well, I got good news and bad news and good news and bad news. So the good news is, I think I found the problem. The bad news is, the speaker's bad. The good news is, I was easily able to get this out, and it looks like we're going to be able to put another one in easily. But the bad news is, you can't test the speaker while it's in circuit. Because the problem that you run into is that on this end, I guess it's connected to a transformer or something. Because measuring it in circuit, it didn't give me 12 ohms. It gave me like 1 ohm, which usually they don't short. So if you got something like that, you're measuring something else. So if I measure just the wires, I get 0.8, just the wires. If you measure just the speaker, you get open. So we got a problem in that speaker. So that's my diagnosis. So now I'm going to see if I've got another speaker just of any kind that I can, just for a second, put to that and make sure that we get sound out of it. And then if we do, I'll find pretty much a direct replacement for that and order it. And we'll put in the good one, since I know this is a radio they really like. So we'll see if we can find a speaker that's just like that one or very close to it. So let me look around and see if I've got a speaker we can hook up to it just to test it to make sure that's the problem. Look, folks, you're going to be all right. All right? Don't worry about it. It's going to be okay. All right, so I found this little bookshelf speaker that is 16 ohms instead of 12. You thought I was going to go find a big old 4 ohm speaker, didn't you? Just admit it. You thought I was going to go find a 4 ohms. I know what you was thinking. You thought I was going. You were wrong. Okay, so I found a 16 ohm speaker instead of the 12 ohm. I hooked an RCA cable into it. I didn't want to cut my cable up because I might reuse these. So instead I splashed solder all over it, because you can clean that off. It'll be fine. It's going to be just great, folks. And I connected the 2 wires to it. And so that effectively has added in our speaker that we needed. I set this back up so we can get some kind of antenna, maybe. And let's see if we get any volume. There was this, we used to set up at the flea market, and this little girl that set up outside, her parents sold produce, used to come in and play video games in our store. And so she would sit there and play video games. And one day she goes, "Ronnie, can you turn up the volume?" And I said, "What?" And she said, "Can you turn up the volume?" I said, "Sure, I'll turn up the volume." Volume. Okay. Here we go. We're going to turn up the volume. Yep. Already hear a pop. That might have been our speaker blowing up. AM. FM. Kick off your shoes. They're just kicking it. It's going to demonetize me again. I keep doing that. Okay. Clearly, the speaker is the problem. Let's put it on AM, though, and see if we can get any kind of reception on AM. On our AM dial, 1110, up about here, is the big local channel. Unless it's backwards. Am I doing it backwards? No, I'm right. 1110. Looks like we're coming up on it.
Shine a light on what the government might not want you to know, and whether or not the cover-up
coast to coast
for decades. Could the echoes of Roswell still reverberate today? From the astonishing accounts of Commander David Fravor's 2017 UFO encounter to
what? Wait a minute.
Testimonies of alien abduction.
I didn't know there was a UFO encounter in 2017.
Challenge our understanding of life beyond Earth, and we'll explore why NASA is hiring priests to prepare for contact, and what off-world view.
NASA is hiring priests to prepare for contact?
Of UFO interference syndrome, and we'll hear about Robert Salas's jaw-dropping experience over Malmstrom Air Force Base. This is really more.
Wait a minute.
Conversation.
There was a jaw-dropping experience over Malmstrom Air Force Base? I got to listen to this. I'll be back in a couple hours. Whew. That was enlightening. I had no clue. I'm going to have to start living a little differently, I think. Okay, folks, so I'm going to the flea market tomorrow. So as I walk around the flea market, I'll see if I can find a 12-ohm speaker that looks anything like that. And I don't have any loose speakers, so maybe that'll be tomorrow's hunt at the flea market. I'll see if I can find anything like that. And if I can't, then I'll order one off good old eBay. You know they'll have one. And then we'll go from there. So when I get it in, we'll mount it back in the case, and that will probably make a decent little radio for them. They'll be happy to get it back, I'm sure. The mail came in. I had to wait a little while. I went to the flea market. They did not have anything like that. But check it out. I got two of them. So a guy online had these. These are the wrong impedance, but it's close. So it's 16 ohm instead of what's that one, 12 ohm. So we're going with 16 ohm instead of 12 ohm. I think that'll be just fine. It's a 5-watt speaker, which might be a little overkill, but it was the closest thing I could find. The main problem is the way this magnet is. It kind of needs to be like this because of the size of the hole in the radio. So a lot of them are made with a bigger magnet, so they wouldn't fit in this setup. If you look at the one that's in there, it's very similar to this one we're about to put in. But you can see right on it says 12 ohms. So let me remove that one. There's just 2 screws that hold it in, and then over on that side it kind of clips in place. I'll remove that one and we'll compare it physically to the one, this new one. All right, so the dimensions are slightly different. This one is a little bigger, which I guess would be why it's 5 watt. Maybe this is 5 watt, but I doubt it. You can see it's just a little bit, this hip is a little taller, and the magnet is a little bit taller. I compared the measurements online to the one that was in it, and this was the closest thing I could find. So hopefully that will fit without shorting out on that. I think it will, because see how these wires are going here? So they must have been laying on top of here. So if there's enough room for those wires, there ought to be enough room for this. So we'll see. So I'll try mounting it in there. All right, so I mounted it in there, and it is a very tight fit. There's just barely enough room for it. If you look, you can see the wires that we were talking about. Those are the 2 going to the actual speaker terminals. But you can see the wires that we were talking about on the back side of this board that I said must be laying on that. Well, look, there's just barely enough room for that. I don't think it could have been any thicker. And then you would have to worry about the body of it shorting out those, you know, all of this stuff. So I put it in there, and I have screwed it back in place. There's 2 screws in here. There's 1 screw right there, and there's 1 screw right there. That's how it originally was. So basically, we need it to work and not be shorting out against the speaker body. Hopefully we're not about to blow everything and every transistor in it up. So it's closed, it's got it in there, and on the front, the knobs are sticking out. The switch is still sticking out. I don't know if that's sticking out as far as it was though. And both of these are sticking out. Let's see, can we make sure we can move this? Yeah, it's still fine. It may have been sticking out more before, because that board, I don't know that it's all the way flush. It may actually be sitting up a little bit because of the thickness of that speaker. But I didn't have much choice, folks. You know, you gotta do what you can do. And this one's bad. There's something going on down in there, probably. So, we had that issue. So let's see if it catches on fire or if it works. I heard something. We're all the way at the end of the dial.
Call Consolidated Credit now. If the interest rates on your credit cards are so high, it'll take years to get out of debt. Call Consolidated Credit now. They've helped over 10 million people without destroying your credit. They can reduce your interest rates, lower your total payments up to 50% to get you out of debt fast. For a free consultation, call Consolidated Credit now. The program works.
Call 800-210-4298. 800-210-4298. 800-210-4298.
All right, so I'm going to scan through and stop at some music if it's playing any. If there's big cuts in the video, it's because after I uploaded it to YouTube, YouTube said, oh no, you played 5 seconds of a Mariah Carey song. We're going to take the all of the money that your video makes from now on for the entire video for the rest of eternity. And the way you can combat that is you can just cut out the song that they don't like. So if I stop and it looks weird and stuff just jumps, it's because it was cutting out a song that...
Thousands and today.
Oh, we lost all our volume. I think basically there's a bad connection here, so I probably got to mess with that a little bit.
Sin razón, y al otro día soy tu amigo, y son los recuerdos los que dan vida a nuestra historia.
Over the free iHeartRadio. Free never sounded so good.
Every 4 years, the world disappear, kick back on a white sand beach. Oh, give me the beat, boys, and free my soul. I wanna get lost in your rock and roll and drift away. Give me the beat, boys.
Sounds like Tony, maybe.
You're in the Love Lounge.
Yeah.
Love and R&B.
I'm always in the Love Lounge. It can, by the way, on the YouTube's song processing identification software can tell the beginning of the song better than it can tell the middle of the song. So if you play like the bridge of a song, a lot of times it'll get through. If you play the first 5 seconds of a song, it can tell exactly what song that is. Yeah. Oh, we lost it. Okay, now here in Charlotte, down below Charlotte, down in like the Fort Mill area, between here and my shop in Rock Hill, there is a channel called Wavo, I think, WAVO. Now it's nighttime. It's like 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. And I don't think, it's not a clear channel station or anything. So I think they may even go off the air at night, or they may turn down their signal at night. So we may not be able to get it. But they play oldies. Let me extend my antenna a little more if that makes a difference. So let's see if we can find the oldies channel. It's down here somewhere.
Just as you are.
Lots of country in Charlotte. There we go. Yay!
Hello?
Hello?
Can I speak to
Ronnie?
Michael?
Michael? There's no Michael here.
How you doing? I feel kind of silly doing this, but this is the waitress from the coffee house on 39th and Lennox.
They're going to copyright strike this. There's nothing that sounds quite like what she's saying.
All the time. You come in every Wednesday on your lunch break, I think.
Yes, you are my piece, and you have a word to put on top of that, Dr. Myers? I just want to tell the people that sometimes when you're going through things, you got to understand that the reason why you are being tormented and the reason why you are being harassed is because what God has given you did not come from this realm. And when God gives you a prophetic word from the third realm, from the throne of God, you cannot visit that realm in order to fulfill that word. You have to live in that realm. Out in the fire and then decide.
Great song.
Kid became a citizen at their first opportunity to come when I was 18.
As a response to the race-based violence by African Americans across
To me, so amazing, yeah. The most beautiful design, go I made it. Stay by my side like my road dog.
Horrible.
One of them was $50,000.
I like some hip hop and rap, but this new crap.
They
Ugh.
never even stopped at the store and got the tickets. They won $50,000. That's really.
I hate how they all have a fake accent now. That's weird. This sounds good though. Okay, so down around this or a little bit lower, we're looking for an oldies channel. So if you can hear anything from the 60s or the 70s or beach music, that's that channel.
Girls just wanna dance. Girls just wanna have.
I'm gonna have like 20 copyright strikes on this. Okay, we're all the way up. We may hear it in the distance.
I need your light to help me find my.
Is that it? That's it, isn't it? Is that an oldie?
Scientists at the National Autonomous University of Mexico have said that could happen maybe 800 to 1,000 years from now, but that real part about when can get lost in the online chatter.
The opening movement.
The city has small earthquakes. I mean, it's had it for decades. And of course, people worry.
From a flute concerto in Bach, Patrick Galois, soloist.
You know, one of these glimpses into adult life. Whether or not it's being confident.
I know you've.
That's not it. That's a religious one.
street train is slowing down again, so I have to do. By Monday.
14, she had one of the largest
Sites.
the space.
That's the reason why I love it's born to die. It's so hard to believe.
You didn't throw me away.
Well, that's good.
Take a chance.
I love this kind of stuff.
Promise me.
Don't say goodbye, love.
Hey, what's up? It's Fly Ty from P101.9. Have you been injured in a car accident? Or maybe at work, kind of nervous, scared, don't know what to do? Those medical bills are piling up, and you just don't know who to call? Well, I need you to meet my friend Clark Speaks of Speaks Law. He's a personal injury attorney handling most things to look after their homes. The Travis Crawford Protection Club. Regular inspections.
So caught up in you. So that country channel is 103.7. We'll go back to that. 103.7. What do you think? Yeah, pretty good, right? Not bad. They're caught up in you. Ooh, Journey. Well, I shouldn't say who the band is. It'll help the YouTube thing strike me. This sounds great too. Like that sounds like 90s R&B, which was great, I thought. Very cool. It's gonna strike that. All right, I found it. It's 90.3. I looked it up. It's WRBK. Wavo, I don't know where I was hearing that, but WRBK. And it's all over like kind of the Piedmont and upstate South Carolina. It's a really, it's not a powerful station at all, but it's 90.3 and it's like 90.9, 91.3, and 92.1 or something like that. So it's several stations right and through here. It's simultaneously broadcast on several smaller stations. So the way I always keep track of it is you get down to the lower end of the dial on FM, there's a cool oldies station, and they just play all kinds of oldies, and they have a live, I don't know if he's live, but they have a DJ, like a radio personality that does some of the commercials and stuff. And so the guy talks with a real kind of crazy voice, and he's like, WRBK is brought to you by Smith's Funeral Home in Chester, South Carolina. You stab 'em, we slap 'em. And stuff like that. We'll see if we hear that same song repeated. Maybe we're picking up more than one of the stations. All right, so it all ought to be in through there.
The agritourism business.
It's there, you can hear it, but you just can't quite grab it. It comes and goes. Yep. Yeah, they're going to definitely copyright strike that. Yeah. Again, the beginning of the song, it can really tell what song it is, and it'll copyright strike you. What a great song that is. Freaking Chicago, awesome band. All right, so I guess we fixed it. All it was the speaker. Easy peasy. Nothing to it but to do it. That's a cool little radio. I think it gets pretty good reception, all things considered, for just a little battery-powered radio. Very cool. And the other aspect of it is it's held up, if you think about it. I mean, this is probably from what, the late 60s, I would just guess. You know, late 60s, early 70s, maybe. Tell me if you think I'm off on that. I guess we could just look it up. But I would guess late 60s, early 70s, and no capacitors changed, no transistors changed, and the thing still works at least reasonably well. You could probably adjust it and mess with the RF, or the IF, and get it to, I don't, what's it called on the FM dial? It's not IF, is it? I guess it is. Still intermediate frequency. Okay, so yeah, if you aligned it, it would probably even get a little better reception. But we're going to leave it how it is because it's working good to me. And we'll get this back to our buddy Chris. I'm sure he'll be happy to hear that we got the thing going for him. Joe asked him about it. He came back in looking for it the other day. I wasn't there. And he said that he knew that it worked because he tried putting some headphones in the jack in the back and it worked. So he was pretty sure it was just the speaker. And he had told me that once Joey mentioned that, or he had told Joey that. So I remembered that that's what he said, but I had forgotten. Okay, so new speaker, got it working. Cool little radio. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave your comments down below, and we will see you on the next one. Now, if you like us working on this radio and you like this vintage of radio, we've got this cool little channel master over here that we worked on a little while back. Check out this video where we fixed it.